Fear Street Prom Queen is the fourth film in the series on Netflix, and it is way worse than the other three. I enjoyed the other three Fear Street movies. I didn't think they were incredible or anything, but it was kind of a fun event. 3 movies released once per week, 3 weeks in a row. They all take place in different time periods, but they're still one big connected story. It was a cool concept, something you could do on a streaming service. And they had some interesting elements to them with the lore and everything, so I definitely wanted to see more. Although the issue this one faces right out of the gate is that it's not some kind of event, it's not connected to anything else, it's just a movie, so it's gonna have to stand completely on the strength of its story and characters and all the things you typically want, and oh boy, it does not. I will say there are some good kills. There's nothing in here that's quite as shocking as the bread slicer from the first one, but there are some good bloody moments. People getting limbs chopped off, stabbed in various places. You know, there's some good kills. Every now and then, for a few seconds at a time, I perked up in the middle of my immense boredom. I will also say the acting is fine across the board. I actually really liked the main girl, India Fowler. I thought she had a very likable presence to her. She's like the quiet, kind of bullied girl, but who's coming into her own at prom. But she was very good. She also looks weirdly like Ashley Johnson. Not relevant, just something I noticed. But other than that, this thing is only 90 minutes long, and it is so boring. These characters are bland and cliche as hell. You don't like most of them. Most of them are just the mean girl pack, so you don't care about them at all. You don't care if they're gonna go get killed. There's no suspense. Anytime somebody wanders off by themselves, you know, okay, well, it's their turn now. And you get the kill itself, you know, it'll be 5 seconds, 10 seconds of, oh, that's kind of cool, that's a nice blood spray, but then it's right back to having to deal with the characters again after that. And this thing just employs every lazy trope in the book. The bully girl is an asshole just because she is. There's nothing deeper to her at all. She has her pack of friends. They do the thing where the bully's boyfriend, actually deep down, he's a really nice, sweet guy, and he ends up getting interested in the main girl because she's also nice and she likes to write, and he thinks that's deep. Have you seen that before 1,000,000 times? You know, this guy doesn't have the slightest inkling of a personality. You could open up his head and there's just nothing going on in there at all. He was so annoying because he was so boring. Like, it shouldn't make any sense. He doesn't do anything in the movie. He doesn't do anything to bother or offend anyone, but he's such a boring nothing of a character who's just the trope of that kind of boyfriend and nothing more, that I was annoyed by his very presence. The main girl has her best friend, and as soon as the main girl starts to get a little bit more confident and popular and start really wanting to become prom queen, of course that leads to a falling out with the friend. I thought you didn't care what they thought. I've been your friend the whole time. Yeah, well, maybe I can finally make something of myself. Have you seen that argument between the two main characters in 7 million other movies? I know I have. It's just the lamest tropes, just copy and pasted on here with nothing to make them unique or interesting at all. I know this is based on a book. I don't know if the book is like that, but it is not engaging my investment in the character drama, the generic bullshit high school teenage drama that doesn't matter at all because you're just waiting for them to die. Less than zero investment. I actually got annoyed by the music, not because it's bad. It's actually quite good. There are a lot of good songs that they play. But you know the thing that movies do, where if it's set in a certain time period, in this case 1988, they'll just play like all of the most popular songs from that time or from periods before then. They're always songs that are still famous today, that we still know and that we can instantly recognize, when in reality, at any given time, half of the music that people are listening to are songs that may be popular at the time but are gonna be forgotten. And that's not usually a big deal. I get it in movies. When you're gonna play songs every now and then, you're gonna play the popular ones. Okay, fine. But in this, since it's at prom, there's music constantly. It's like back to back, song to song to song. And it started to get on my nerves a little bit. It started to get really cheesy when every song that played was just like, oh, another of the most popular songs that has survived till today and that we will all recognize in 2025. okay, so something that shouldn't have annoyed me, good music. Every time one of the songs started playing, I just rolled my eyes again. The killer reveal sucks. I predicted it immediately just based on the casting, and I was 100% correct. And then even after that, when you're watching the movie and you're looking around the prom to see who's unaccounted for at any given time, there's one character who's just like never there. You never see this person hardly ever. So I'm like, oh, that's them then, right? They're never around. They're clearly off doing the killing. And then just, yeah, like it's not, like they didn't even try. And the motive to me is often more important than the identity. The motive sucks. To be honest, I didn't predict the motive, but that's because I was trying to give the movie some credit. I was trying to come up with like complex schemes in my head and like ways that all these dots could be connected and ways that the motive could be cool and more interesting. It ended up being the most boring, uncreative, lame motive possible. That's why I didn't think of it, because I was trying to give the movie too much credit. Like when it was revealed, I thought, no, there has to be more. There has to be something else. There has to be more to it than that. That can't be it. That sucks. That's so boring. But no, that was it. This has nothing to do with the other Fear Street movies at all. It just takes place in the town of Shadyside. It's just in that universe, and that's it. And I know that's how R.L. Stine's books work, like Goosebumps and everything. They're all their own different stories. But when you have a trilogy that's connected and it has all this lore to it, I do expect a little something in the fourth one. Like literally anything at all. Connecting something somewhere. There's no reason for this to be called Fear Street. Again, it's based on a book, I know. But the way that the movie is executed, it could take place in any town, and the movie could be called Prom Night Massacre 1988, or whatever you want to call it, and it would be the exact same movie. It's just called Fear Street to capitalize on the name and get you to click it, which worked. I clicked it. Oops. But it doesn't even feel like it fits within the Fear Street lore, because the entire point of that trilogy is that the town of Shadyside is cursed. There was some magic shit going on, causing people to go on murder sprees as sacrifices and all that shit that was revealed over the course of those three movies, so that the other town could prosper. But this has nothing to do with that. This is just a series of murders. Like the whole point in the other Fear Street movies is that they were being controlled, they were being possessed. This is just a freak with a motive that sucks. And sure, having an actual character with an actual motive works better as a movie rather than just being like, here's another incident of somebody in Shadyside who was possessed. Of course. But when you are making the connection, you're setting it in the same universe, you're using the name, there needs to be some kind of a connection. There is a tiny little mid-credit scene where they try to do it. They try to draw a little connection. It doesn't make any fucking sense. And it's lazy. And it's like, you thought you did something there? You thought that would do it? You thought we would sit through this boring, cliche-ass movie and we'd get to the mid-credit scene and then, oh, now I'm excited for more. Now that ties everything together. I'm not excited for more. This has killed my interest in any more of this. I don't know what happened. I don't know if this book is just not very interesting. It's a different director and writer for the movie, so maybe they just didn't pull it off. Maybe they didn't care as much. Maybe there was just more effort put into the original trilogy because it was this whole connected event thing, and they just thought, let's make another one because those were popular. I don't know, but if you're just going to introduce one Fear Street movie at a time from now on, I'm not really interested. It doesn't seem like it's got staying power. This sucked. And I've heard the argument that I hear whenever bad horror movies come out or bad slashers of like, it's a slasher. What do you expect? And I'm like, I hate that so much. I get having proper expectations. I didn't go into this expecting Citizen fucking Kane, but I don't think good is an improper expectation. Like, I question the people who are like that and who are like, you can't really expect story or character or anything interesting to happen in the movie. Are you actually slasher fans? Like, you seem like you think they suck. It seems like your argument is, they suck, and so we can't expect new ones to not suck. It's like, no, they don't have to suck. If they sucked, I wouldn't like them. Like, what are you talking about? Sure, there's plenty of slashers that are not that great in many ways. The Friday the 13th movies. Do I enjoy them purely because of my nostalgia and my attachment to the character of Jason? Yes. Are any of them really good? Maybe like a couple of them. Maybe. But I completely acknowledge that. And when there are good ones, genuinely good ones, that come along, that's always better. You shouldn't want things to stay the way they've always been. You should want growth and improvement. And you shouldn't just say, well, they're just kind of bad, and that's fine. Like, no, it doesn't have to be that way. There are plenty of great slashers. They can be great. Plus, I am less insulted by tropes in 1980 than I am by tropes in 2025. Because if you're still doing the same shitty tropes and being just as lazy and bad 45 years later, that's way worse. You've had a lot of time to improve. You've got to give me something. Every now and then when there's a kill, I get a little expression on my face. Ooh, that's nice. But then it's right back to, for the majority of the runtime, because everything is uninteresting. The characters, the story, the reveals, the connections to the other films, which are completely non-existent, the drama, it's all bad. There's opening narration for no reason, where the main character is just like, this girl is a bully, and this girl is my friend, and she's just kind of telling us these basic things, and I'm like, you can just have that displayed by, like, telling the story, right? And then they do. We see that the bitch is an asshole bully, and we see that the other girl is nice, and we see what she's like. You didn't need the weird narration. That was just odd. There's one character who, maybe I completely misinterpreted this, but it seemed like they secretly harbored feelings for another character. That never goes anywhere. I just realized that. Maybe I was totally wrong. That's how it felt, though. Maybe I'm just dumb. Maybe I was wrong. You know what I'm talking about? If you've seen the movie, you know what I'm talking about? I'm gonna forget about this real quick. It's just the most generic slasher. It's really lazy. This is more of what I expect from Netflix. I thought the 3-movie event was cool, but this is right back to the streaming crap that I usually expect. You bastards. I liked the main actress, though. Character wasn't super interesting, but she had a likable quality to her, so hopefully she gets to be in more things. 1.5 out of 5, I guess. It was bad. I've forgotten it already. What were we talking about? Whatever it was, leave your opinions down in the comments below, because that's all I got. I'd like to talk about it down there, whether you agree or you disagree. Whatever you want to say, let's have a conversation in the comments. Like the video if you enjoyed, subscribe if you want to see more from me. I appreciate it, and I'll see you next time.